It is Monday, September the 19th, 2022. I am James, you are you. We are here for a very special edition of the At Home Internet Show. Why is it so special? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, we are marching ever so closely towards episode 400, but moreover, it is the final episode of the summer. That is correct. In just a few short days, we say goodbye to the heat, the humidity, because it's the humidity that gets you. It's not the heat. It's the humidity. And we welcome the cool breeze for the cool breeze lover himself, of course, talking about me. And if anyone who's been watching this show for 2+ years knows a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to Lil Cutie, you know that I love the fall. And that's why we are, frankly, in many ways, this is a funeral for the summer. Not a big fan of the summer, but what we're going to do is commemorate it with positivity. I do not want to be an old man autumn right now, blowing cool breeze all over your hopes and dreams and wishes and wonders of what summer 2022 was. We're going to celebrate it to the best of my abilities, not just with me, with the help of others. Much later on, a legend of the At Home with James world, Saima Ahmed, is going to be here. Not to be outdone, another legend of the At Home world, Joe Conto, is going to be here. But this is a full house. Another legend co-hosting tonight, as he has been for the past few weeks or so. Please welcome the one and the only Dave Kaufman. Dave, how does it feel to reach legend status?
It's pretty cool. I'm glad that I was inducted to the At Home Legends along with two other great people.
Well, let's not forget you were also truly inducted into the At Home Hall of Fame a couple weeks back.
Sure, yeah. I've had all the accolades of this show. I don't think there's anywhere to go.
Well, the only thing left is the in memoriam video that we put together at the end of the year. So that's not an accolade you want. But also, if you were happen, to pass away, better to be in it than not.
Sure. I mean, if I pass away, I hope that my family and my unborn son and my daughter can take solace in the fact that I will be in the At Home with James in memoriam.
Yeah. Well, I will do what I can to not only put you into the montage, but also I'll welcome your entire family on the show.
Wow.
Memories of Dave night. Wow. It'll be an ongoing yearly tradition.
That is very kind. I don't know if I could ever repay that debt, but I'd be dead.
What if we simulated a Memories of Dave episode on the show?
I mean, that's a little bit freaky. It's a little.
Is it? Now the question is it distasteful?
I feel like you're tempting the fates. The fates don't like to be tempted.
In many ways, we don't have to say that you passed away. It's just Memories of Dave.
Sure,
guys, we're here to remember Dave, right? You can remember someone without their having passed away.
That's true. I suppose you can anything that. I mean, we could remember the beginning of this episode already because it's already gone. Yeah.
This is what I want to do. I want to use this almost as a beta test.
Beta.
We're building chemistry because I knew as that was coming out of my mouth, I wanted to give it a beat because I assumed that you were going to say it, and I'm glad that my assumptions were correct.
Amazing.
I want to try this. Folks, I want you to mention in the chat your best memories of Dave. This is a simulation. We're remembering Dave. Tonight, coming in from the chat, this is very kind and polite from Lionheart Live. Good evening, James and Dave. That's very nice.
Good evening.
All right. Well, I feel like you've taken their lovely greeting and turned it into something a little bizarre.
That's a classic freaky saying.
We'll save that for October because throughout the month of October, we're going to get a little freaky on the show, culminating with the pumpkin carving 2022.
It's the freakiest month of the year, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, if not for October, what is another freaky month?
Oh, man.
January, February, people go through the winter blues.
February is pretty freaky because it's not always the same amount of days, and that's kind of wild.
Yeah. That's kind of freaky, yeah. All right. Well, Dave, I want to get into the crux of why we're here tonight. Throughout all of summer 2022 on this show, but also outside of the show, you've been mentioning how you were really believing and predicting that it was going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah.
And tonight is exploring not only the highs and the lows of this summer, but what really made summer 2022 interesting. Now, Dave, let me ask you, before we really kick it into high gear with our guests, what were some of your lows of summer 2022?
Oh man, I didn't have too many lows. Maybe the fact that I worked most of it, so I didn't. I only took 1 week of vacation, and so
Yeah, it's been.
So I've been grinding, and
Yeah.
that might be a low. I wish I maybe had taken a little bit more time off.
Okay, a bit of time for yourself and your family.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, any other lows?
Oh, I mean, the slap that shook the world.
Okay, now, of course, if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, of course, I don't want to assume, but would you like to let us know what you mean by the slap that, what did you say, took the world by storm?
Shook the world.
Shook the world by storm.
I don't know if anybody here caught the Oscars this year, but boy, Will Smith, he slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was that was low.
Okay, so that was one of your low points.
Yeah.
So far, you've listed you worked a little too much and Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Yeah.
How about this as a headline? There was a grouch at the Oscars.
Why? Because the slap?
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch, the beloved Sesame Street character.
Yeah, I like it. I think
We're
it's
getting a
accurate...
thumbs down from Joe Conto in our production call.
Yeah, well.
Also, what people don't know is he was just eating celery sticks live on air. So if people were wondering what we were laughing at, he was eating giant celery sticks with the leaves still attached.
And he was using the stick to mix baba ganoush.
All right. So, Dave, what were some of your highs?
That vacation I went on, that was a high.
Right.
I had a lot of good sandwiches, another high. Mm-hmm. I think we discovered a new Chinese place.
Yeah.
Well, you did.
That was maybe the highest of the highs for me.
You did, but that place is great, so that's a high for me too.
You were skeptical at first, I think.
Was I?
You were a little skeptical. Now, I'll do free promotion. We're talking about Dynasty, which is located on the corner of De La Gauchetière and Clark.
Shout out to Dynasty.
So late.
Yeah.
Late.
All of Chinatown shuts down at like 10 p.m. after
Not
COVID.
Dynasty.
Not Dynasty, though. Excuse me. Dynasty.
Right, so that's some of the highs. You discovered a new Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. What are some of your highs, James?
I mean, I'm putting that in there.
Yeah.
I'm saying Dynasty was a great discovery.
You interview people all the time on the show, but sometimes I like to hear what you think about stuff.
Yeah, that's very true. And, it puts me on the spot, but this is a good exercise in keeping me flexible as well as agile.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would say a real positive of summer 2022 is, I performed a lot, which doesn't tend to happen a lot throughout the summer historically.
Sure,
Got to do a lot of shows. That was fun.
You had sort of a second coming this summer.
How do you mean?
Well, I feel like back in the day, maybe 8 years ago, you'd perform all the time. Then there was a little bit of a lull. And now you're performing a lot again.
Yeah.
Second coming.
And you know what? You also went on another trip. It was with me. We went to Burlington, Vermont on a day trip.
That's true.
A low point of that trip was it was really hot.
It was too hot, and everyone felt a little sick.
Yeah, except for me.
You didn't feel sick?
No, I felt totally fine.
Oh, okay, I felt like I had like a couple day hangover from that trip.
Okay, yeah, I felt a-okay. I would say those are my highs and lows.
Okay.
Now, Dave, you've been on record multiple times, as mentioned, predicted it would be an interesting summer. I'm curious to know, what about this summer did you find particularly interesting?
The general vibe.
Well, tell us about it.
Well, it's interesting. It was interesting. A lot of people were having a lot of fun, but a lot of people also weren't having a lot of fun.
In what way?
Well, the stock market, had its ups and downs. It's a lot of euphoria, a lot of fear and panic in the streets. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Sure.
Top Gun came out. That was pretty popular.
Yeah. And you found its popularity interesting?
I did because, it's an old franchise. They only had one of them previously. A new one comes out after so many years. Tom Cruise has barely aged. God knows how that's happened.
Yeah.
And it was quite the success, which in my books is pretty interesting.
Well, I'll tell you something I found particularly interesting about summer 2022.
Sure.
We did a 10 episode series on Radio Shack commercials. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so. It might have been the most interesting episodes of the show that have ever been produced.
Yeah. What else was interesting, Dave?
What else? Oh, I
Well, you
mean,
said it would be an interesting summer. So, again,
the problems I'm having right now is picking the one out of the pot of many interesting items to say next. Uh, Joe Biden read from a teleprompter.
yeah, kind of got the words wrong. He was reading some of the prompts and not just the text.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And I'll tell you what, news coming out yesterday from President Biden, he declared the pandemic is over, sneaking something in.
That's pretty interesting. That's good.
Well,
We had a
I thought his
pandemic and
quote,
now it's over.
I watched a portion of the interview. I thought the quote was taken out of context.
Okay. Well, with these political figures, people like to get their metaphorical panties in a bunch.
Yeah. All right. Well, you using that kind of slang, I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah. There was famous trial, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
The world was abuzz about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was I don't know if it was still summer officially, but our beloved Queen passed away.
Well, it's currently still summer.
Yeah, so the Queen passed away. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
never happened before, from what I remember.
They opened the Burgundy Lion today at 5:00 in the morning to watch the service.
Oh, well, did you
That's
go,
pretty
James?
interesting. No, I didn't go. I was
Okay.
sleeping.
Well, I'm sure that you would have wished to have been there.
Nope.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of stuff.
Now, coming in from the chat, Naive Adventures writes, my favorite memory of James, even though, to be clear, we were memorizing Dave tonight. This is commemorating Dave as a beta test.
Beta.
To see if we should do a Remembering Dave episode. She writes, seeing me tell Raquel that she can't show her backside on the show. That's true. Although I don't believe that was the summer.
No, what was that, the spring?
May have been the spring. Yeah, Raquel Belmonte had fallen and developed a bruise on her backside, and I said she couldn't show it on the show, which I stand by.
I think that's wise. I don't like seeing any skin.
Yeah, but you know what? It would have been very interesting.
Well, is a bruise interesting? Hard to say without seeing it.
Well, a bruised backside on the show could have been.
That's true, I guess.
Maybe not the type of interesting we're looking for.
You should have a triple X version of this show where you can show stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, maybe we do it on like OnlyFans or something. We do Best Buns.
We have At Home with James OnlyFans exclusive shows.
Look, I'll tell you what. We've got 2 episodes in the can right now. The triple X edition of At Home with James, as well as Remembering Dave.
Sure, yeah.
Dave, what do we say we get this show started?
Sure. I mean, I had a couple of. I don't know if you want to do this now or you want to do it later, but I had a couple of interesting. The New York Times put out a summer quiz that I thought was pretty interesting.
Well, what we've got now, not only is a couple episodes in the can, we've got a segment in the can.
Should I pull that up?
Here, let's do this. Let's go to our first guest, and then we'll go to the quiz after our first guest.
Okay, sure.
It, we'll do it live. Let's welcome our first guest. Again, as mentioned, off the top of tonight's program, he's been here since the beginning. He's been here throughout the summer, the winter, the spring, and the fall. He is Joe Conto. Joe, how's it going, my friend?
Hey, James,
I like that delay as you were negotiating the mute button.
I had to read it, and it was a tough one because there's lots of words.
Yeah.
And I wear bifocals now, so really to see you clearly, I have to go like this, and I didn't want to. Anyway, here I am.
We've got it worked out, Joe. I wanna jump in on something that Dave just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
He talked about doing a triple X episode of the show. Now, you've been very clear this year that you refuse to be a part of the 2022. I can't even say it without laughing.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
The the 2022 at-home pumpkin carving competition.
Oh, because I got fucked twice, right? You know, talk about triple X.
Whoa, language.
Yeah, this isn't the Triple X
sorry,
episode.
sorry.
But this is all to say, if you wouldn't do the pumpkin carving, do you think you'd do the Triple X version of the show? And what do you think that would entail?
Well, First of all, you did let me show my bruise. Remember that terrible bruise I had on my knee from Mexico?
Yeah, when you fell over.
So I could show that bruise. I would not. I don't think I would participate at this point in a best buns contest. But I don't know. My front side not.
I bet you got great buns, Joe.
No. I do not.
Oh, please.
Those buns might be rotten by now.
Well, I don't think they're rotted.
You think they're moldy?
No, they're not. They're rotted nor moldy. They're just,
But Joe, let's be honest. You've been on this show and you mentioned a salacious story about seeing a very well-known singer.
Yes.
A pop star. You saw someone performing oral pleasure on this person.
Yeah, because remember they had, and I didn't do it on purpose.
You said they were Venetian blinds.
They were Venetian blinds, and it was at the front side of a home. And I was just walking by, and I just kind of, you see movement. I looked over, and there it was.
An old folks' home?
No, a very
well-known, very popular pop artist.
Yeah, and did I tell you that her parents, because her parents live here in town in Lake Placid, shit, and
don't dox yourself, Joe.
As do many pop stars. Parents, they recently got a hot tub, so I'm raising an eyebrow.
Okay,
you know how I feel about hot tub people.
Well, yeah, if memory serves correct, you believe them to be swingers or kind of sexual deviants.
Perverts.
I've got cousins who have hot tubs, and I'm pretty sure they throw nude parties there.
Right.
All right, so I feel like we've got another episode right here, a hot tub discussion event.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it takes place in a hot tub.
That would be great. If we could do the show from a hot tub, I would love it.
I would only be able to do about a 7-minute segment, though, because hot tubs get me...
horny.
No, just the opposite. Like, I feel like I'm going to have a stroke.
Well, this is the thing. You get woozy in a hot tub. I learned it the hard way.
Well, maybe we'll see Joe's buns in that episode.
Oh, if I'm in a hot tub, there will be buns. But I would prefer you concentrate on, my face.
Yeah, these would be soggy buns.
Oh, would they ever? And probably pruny, I guess.
Look, this is not. We're already veering into the Triple X episode. Dave has taken this episode into the gutter, into the toilet. We're going to try to lift things up here.
Good.
What the
Joe,
hell?
I want to start by asking, how was your summer?
James, I had a great summer.
Okay, now the sigh made me nervous. I thought you were going to say there were going to be more lows than highs. So it sounds like there were a lot of highs. What made this a great summer?
It's funny you say about that sigh, because I do get at the end, and you know this about me, and Vance mentioned it to me the other day. About the second week of August, right? I get melancholy. About summer, and I was thinking just today about that, and I was wondering, and I'm sure that you guys in Canada, maybe in sixth grade or something, read Charlotte's Web. Do you remember that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I don't know if you remember what's that, Dave?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember at the end where they talk about the end of summer and the crickets, the sound of the crickets and the crickets call?
I will be honest, I don't recall much from the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the book either, to be honest.
For the end of summer, man, I remember reading it at the end of summer just before school started again when I was a little kid. And every year I think about that. Every year. And I hear the crickets and a sadness comes over me.
Okay, so you're feeling the end of sadness the sadness for the end of summer before it's really over.
Oh, absolutely. But today it was the day that I looked around and I thought, okay, I'm shaking it off. I'm really ready to embrace fall,
Okay, so this episode is coming at the perfect time.
For real. Yeah. Because today it had that, and you know what I mean when I said like down here it was spooky weather, like
Yeah.
dark clouds were rolling in, and it was just warm enough. But that wind, that fall wind, it's not
Mm-hmm.
cold yet. It's still a
Yep.
pleasant wind, but it's not like a summer wind.
Yeah.
Was coming, and I thought, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so
Anyway.
let's commemorate this. I want to know what your highs of summer 2022 were. Spare us no expense.
Okay. Remember I had that sublet up on the plateau for about 5 weeks?
Oh,
and
yeah. Party house.
Oh, man. Yeah, I loved it. I really did. I really got into that little neighborhood, and I walked around every day and I got a routine real quick, and I'd go to the same places again and again. And I felt like I was a little resident of the plateau just above Montreal and just below like Laurier Park on St. Joseph. And that was awesome. I took a vacation from my house just 2 hours away in another town where I spend a lot of time. But, I loved it. And the weather was so nice, and it was so pretty there and everything. I really, really liked it.
And you know what? I will say this was not a suffocating summer. It wasn't.
No,
There was some spurts, but never a true heat wave.
Yeah. And by the second week in July, I was back in Lake Placid, where no matter what, it gets cool at night, So weather-wise, if we're talking weather alone, what a nice summer. And
right.
So I had summer up there, and then I had summer down here. Second high.
I feel like we're leading towards being climate change deniers right now.
No. Oh, I don't mind it. But anyway, everybody's complaining. I'm like, what? I'm wearing shirt sleeves.
Yeah, we can't deny that on a very temporary level, there are some benefits. That doesn't mean we should, embrace it as a positive.
No.
But there are some minor moments where it's like, you know what? Grass in November.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Right? Isn't it terrible?
Joe, tell us about more of the highs.
Yeah. I maintained my COVID virginity.
You're still pure.
I'm still pure. I have never been tainted by COVID.
Now, I will say this. Saima is on the show later, and to my knowledge, we'll probably get a confirmation of this in some moment. I do not believe that Saima has had COVID either.
I'm going to ask Saima if she is going to wear a promise ring like I do. My
okay, so this is almost going to be a COVID virginity ball.
Yes. I would like to have a ball where only the COVID virgins attend.
Featuring a hot tub.
Oh, no. That's one of the things that have kept me COVID free.
Okay, staying out of the hot tub.
Staying out of the hot tub and washing down there. I think people got COVID. I think a big thing is, they don't wash themselves fully.
Dave, what do you think about that as someone who's had COVID?
Well, I was defiled by COVID, ravaged, if you will. And
your V card is gone.
My V card's gone, yeah. And it could be because I didn't clean my dick.
Now, Dave's trying to bring it back to the Triple X episode. Joe, what are some other highlights of the summer?
Yeah, I made I've been trying to make a really good ratatouille to bring to like summer parties. Mm-hmm. The one you make in like a what do you call that? A cast iron. Like a crusade. And I went and I got zucchini and eggplant and tomatoes and everything that were like so similar in size that they were perfect. I didn't have to wedge anything in. And I used fresh basil that I grew and these great tomatoes. Anyway, here's the deal. It was the most amazing ratatouille I've ever experienced. And it was gorgeous as well. So I made the perfect ratatouille. I went to the track. I went to the horse track.
Oh, nice.
I had a lot of fun.
Now, Dave, would you consider Joe going to the horse track an interesting event in the summer?
I think so. I feel like a little summer wagering is always pretty interesting. You're literally making things interesting by plopping down a couple of shekels on your favorite horse. I like
that you use the term plopping.
Yeah.
You
plop coins.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, how did you do at the track?
Pretty good. On the first race, I won $65, which is great. But then little by little, I went up and down, up and down, up and down. And by the end of it, I think I was up $2.80 or something ridiculous. But I basically played for free all day. Had a great time. We parked ourselves right near the paddock where the horses, walk out, so you can see the horse and inspect the horse, and talk about it, and all that sort of stuff. We had fun.
Now, what was the name of the horse that made you the most money?
Yeah. It was called Blue Rider.
Blue Rider. Nice.
Blue Rider. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, James.
There we go. Now, Joe, last week we had Impress Dave night.
Oh, okay.
And I think had you been on that show, you'd be passing with flying colors.
Well,
you won money on a horse named Blue Rider. You cooked a ratatouille. Dave likens himself as a type of Chef Boyardee.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dave would have appreciated you cooking a ratatouille.
Now, how did that settle on your stomach? Sorry for...
It was great. I actually, it was the whole meal. I made I made this salad called a Brutus. It's sort of like a Caesar, but without any egg, and it has sharp cheddar in there, and I put a couple kinds of apples in there.
Save this for the Triple X show.
What's that?
I said save this for the Triple X show.
Yeah. And
now, Joe, can I ask you a question?
It's real good. Yeah.
I feel like I'm being influenced by Dave here. Have you ever introduced food to the bedroom?
I'm going to have to think about that.
All right, save it for the Triple X show. Now, Joe, I'm curious to know.
There's certainly been food in the bedroom, but not on purpose, maybe.
Let's save it for the Triple X show.
I think there was probably like a pizza box under the bed or something.
Nice.
Dave, what do you think about that? Interesting?
I think that's pretty nice extra large pizza down there. It's pretty interesting.
It's honest. Yeah.
Now, Joe, I'm curious to know, were there any low points of the summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way early in the summer, I had a chicken salad sandwich that when I bit it, I got a bit of cartilage.
Ooh.
And I went off chicken salad. I'm still off chicken salad.
I had a chicken salad sandwich today.
I miss it, but I can't risk it. That bite.
Same thing happened to me this summer, and I puked afterwards.
Was it a chicken salad sandwich?
Chicken salad sandwich.
Okay, chicken salad sandwich episode. November.
Problem was, though, it was homemade. I made it myself.
Okay, so you're off your own chicken salad.
Yeah, I puked.
Because I do usually anyway, blah blah blah.
I want to jump in here. I want to jump in here, and I want to say that a chicken salad sandwich might be the ideal food, not a dessert, but food to eat with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
No, you're absolutely wrong, but
what would you say?
What is this, James? What kind of amateur night is this?
I think any other. I didn't say that there are no other foods. I think for me, a chicken salad sandwich is the ideal food pair with a hot beverage.
How about like a coffee cake?
No, I said no dessert. I immediately began with no dessert.
How about a donut?
That's a dessert.
You eat a donut first. You eat donut first thing in the morning.
No,
what about a muffin?
I'm saying food. It's a dessert. I'm saying
muffin's not a dessert.
No, I'm talking about a food.
Muffin as a dessert. In fact, if somebody gave me a muffin as dessert, I'd be like, "What are you crazy?"
What about a croissant breakfast sandwich, dumbass?
Okay, then maybe the caveat should have been non-breakfast foods. If we're saying non-breakfast foods.
I'm trying to think what I would have with a cup of coffee.
This is what I'm saying. Right now, look.
That's not cakey. I know what you're saying.
Yes, this is what I'm saying, and this is true. I should have said the caveat is no breakfast foods. But you wouldn't say, you know what, give me the extra large pizza and pour me a cup of coffee with it. You're not saying give me a poutine with a cup of coffee. Give me the Greek platter with a cup of tea.
You know what goes good with a cup of coffee?
I'm not saying that with chicken salad.
David Joe is talking here.
I'm never gonna do that with chicken salad either, though. I'm just not.
Okay.
It's too mayo-y. I would have a nice rack of ribs over a chicken salad. That's for sure.
What if we tried it one day on the show?
Oh, speaking of finding restaurants, you introduced me to that place called Sonny's, I think.
I went there the other day.
That is a great place. I want to go to Dynasty with you guys, though. Now, is it that it's really delicious, or is it that it's open late? What's
no. The food is very good. I like it a lot.
I would say it's top tier mediocre Chinese food, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
open
yeah.
late.
That's all I want. Dave, you also introduced me to that soup dumpling place on Lincoln
Oh yeah.
years ago. I still
I'm
go
more
there.
I'm more of a fried dumpling guy. Great with coffee.
Yeah. Huh.
With the
Okay.
green
Now,
tea.
Joe, I'm curious to know if there were any other lowlights for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I told you about this. Um, I was at the border coming back, and the lady said, "Oh, you got to go inside," and that scares me anyway, right? Because I'm like, "What did I do wrong?" I pull over. They go, "No, you go inside." They sent me inside, and everybody was. There were like all these types there, like there were these folks who looked like they live in the Mile End, like Hasidic, and then there were these other little group of people who were like sort of like tough guys. Then there was this woman over here who was very thin and tall and very very nervous, and I thought this is almost like a play,
Right. So you were
that,
surrounded by thin, tall women, tough guys, and Hasidic Jewish people.
yeah, and me, and then
Now,
he
what do you
kept
think
telling me,
they
"Mike,
thought your thing was? If we were talking to the Hasidic Jewish man, Dave, what do you think that would sound like?
run my mouth."
um. Fuck.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it, Dave? It's not easy when someone just forces you to do a character right on the hop. This guy had me doing Al Pacino out of nothing last week, and Sylvester Stallone.
I was trying to remember a song from Fiddler on the Roof.
Now, Joe,
Yeah.
take us through what happened while you were detained at the border.
Yeah, so he calls us up and he lines us all up, which is weird. I thought they would, talk to us together. I'm like, what's going on? We were Geiger countered because the guy tells us that the radioactive alarm has gone off, and apparently, I guess at the border they have this alarm that shows radioactivity anywhere in the anywhere sort of in the area in case somebody's trying to bring something in. And they actually came out and they Geiger countered us, like one of those, things. It was like right out of a movie.
So you were essentially being scanned to see if you were emitting radiation.
Radioactive.
Were you
And
nuclear,
I
Joe?
got nervous. What's that?
Were you nuclear?
Nope, I wasn't nuclear at all. Fortunately, again, I washed my dick, right? So everything was fine. But the lady went cuckoo. She was upset.
Which lady?
Laughing, but almost
The
crying.
tall, skinny lady.
Oh, okay.
The tall, skinny lady. And then we were all left to go, but then at the last minute, the guy says, "No, not you, cool guy." And it was one of the tough guys who had to go back. So I don't know whether he made a comment or something.
Okay,
but
so
I was like, I'm out of
perhaps
here.
he was radiating.
I think. Well, I don't know.
Joe, can I ask you if anything interesting happened to you this year? Now, I am not the arbiter of interesting. That's Dave's role. He decides what is interesting and what isn't, because, of course, he predicted an interesting summer. He's also gone on record to say it will be an interesting autumn.
Interesting. I feel like.
And I just want to be clear, there is no distinct definition of what Dave is looking for.
Yeah. Well, Dave, don't you think some of the things I've already mentioned were interesting?
I think so, yeah. And I also think the definition's a little self-explanatory.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. I did. I went through a early summer purge where I got rid of a lot of stuff here at the house.
Interesting.
Yep, and there was stuff that after we moved my mom. Anyway, my mom's dead, and after we cleaned out all her stuff.
Interesting.
You're really brushing over that one, Joe. You said we moved my mother's. You paused and said, "My mother's dead," but we.
Well, I didn't go through the whole thing. It is true that she is dead, and it is true that I had put off unpacking these things that came from the house that ended up with me. And when I did, I found all this stuff from like my childhood, not my stuff, but like stuff that was around the house that I forgot about completely because I lived in that house for a million years. Nor did she for the last 10 years prior to her passing away. So I put a few things on Reddit. I took a picture of a few things and I showed them. and people were very excited about the fact that I had these things, and they said how not that they were super valuable. They were a couple $100, but they were very rare, and they said it was such a nice quality of it, and that the fact that I had a whole set of like these glasses and stuff like that. And it was fun because I remember these things from when I was a little kid at my Aunt Liz's house and then at my mom's. And now they're here. And,
I like that story. I thought it was quite heartwarming as well.
Yeah. You want to? I think you want to. Well, no. I'll show you sometime. I'll show you some of the.
Another episode. At Home with James Cribbs featuring Joe.
That would be fun. I could show you some of the things that I have around the house.
Okay, so what we've developed on this, essentially, we're purging the idea of episodes right now. We've got the XXX edition of At Home. We've got what was the other one that I've already lost it here? We've got Cribbs.
Oh, and then chicken salad.
Oh yeah, I like the idea of a chicken salad episode.
The thought of it makes me puke.
I have 2 or 3 more.
Yeah,
I still feel like I would love to see a claymation episode.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just a filter or whatever, but I really like that idea. I really like the idea of doing a remote one from like the corner booth at Dynasty, like a Chinese restaurant or something. And I would really like to do a James a date where we do sort of a dating. Remember one of my predictions for 2022 was that you were going to date someone from the show.
Date someone from the show. Well, there's still time, right?
Yeah, and I think we could push it a little bit.
Push it
with a James date show, when
push it real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe, you're making me sweat here.
And I would like Dave and I to be able to get some women.
Nice.
And
I don't know about this.
Where's this going, Joe?
But and it's like the voices are changed a little bit.
Okay, so it's like, Bachelorette #1. Tell me about your ideal weekend getaway.
Right, but she'll be speaking to
about the weekend getaway is that I love a night in a chalet.
But it would be more like, James really likes breakfast. What kind of what breakfast item are you, and how would you serve James in bed?
Now, how do you think this woman would answer, Dave? As a Hasidic Jewish woman.
If I were a rich man.
All right, so we've got ourselves a plethora of episode possibilities here.
Yeah. Oh, and the hot tub thing.
The hot tub thing. There we go. Hot tub night. Yeah, a debate.
Yeah, hot tub debates. That'd be a great debate show.
Yeah, so we have the people that are for hot tubs and the people that are against hot tubs.
Oh, I just love to see people debate things when they have to sit in a hot tub with the other person.
All right, so let's see if we can make this happen, because then it's also a remote. And the other big thing coming out of this is that, Joe, you're going to come eat Chinese food with me and Dave.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I would love it.
Joe, we're going to move on to our next guest here. I want to thank so much for getting you back on the program here. I thought you looked crystal clear. You didn't show your rear end. It was the perfect segment.
Not bad, right? And I don't think I was on all summer.
Oh, my God. Well, this is the unfortunate part of summer programming is we went to 1 episode a week.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm happy to be here.
I will say this: the show got a little bit more interesting with you on it, Joe.
Well, thank you very much.
That was a great ending to this segment, Dave. Joe, one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Joe, I love you.
I love you so much. You don't even know. Thanks very much for having me.
Bye, Joe. Take it easy.
See ya. Bye, everybody.
Now,
goodbye, room.
Dave, what do you think about that? I thought that it sounded like Joe had a fantastic. Even the bad stuff didn't sound that bad.
Bad stuff didn't sound that bad. If the worst thing that happened to you was chewing into a little bit of cartilage.
Well, getting detained at the border, it could be frightening.
That's true.
Now, I remember when you and I were at the border, we were with your wife as well. They asked me, when was the last time you came to the United States?
Yeah.
Gave them the date. It was correct. They asked you and your wife. You got the date wrong.
I did?
And the guy said, you want to try that again?
Oh, yeah.
And we sat there while you were trying to figure out when the last time you visited the United States were.
Well, at the border, they like to make you sweat a little bit to see what you're like under a little bit of pressure.
I'll say this. I have truly never had a bad experience at the American border. Our border guards are trash people.
Well, that's because
they're mean. They're mean. They're not friendly. They're rude. They never joke around. I would say at least 80% of the time, I end up joking around with the American border agents.
Yeah, you're pretty good with the Americans. They don't like me that much.
Americans do like me, and I think it's because I don't walk in there with any type of Canadian elitism. I love the States. I love going to the States. It's always a positive experience. The servers are wonderful. They call you honey and sugar and sweetheart.
I mean, I agree.
I'm a booster for the States.
I agree. I like the States too, but
it doesn't sound like it.
I love the States.
Why are they making you sweat?
Because
one time the border guard looked at my passport. He said, "This guy loves to party."
You've got a lovable face. When you got a bad boy face like me, that's when they start asking questions.
Yeah. So wait, you've got the bad boy face, and I've got the lovable face.
That's right.
It's because you've got a sarcastic, mischievous smirk, but I think you've got a lovable face where I have the sarcastic and mischievous spirit.
I don't know, James. Maybe we have a mischief off.
Oh, I love that. Let's write that down.
Another episode.
Before we welcome our next guest, do we want to get through some of these interesting tidbits, courtesy of a little outfit called the New York Times?
Do we have time? All right, we can do a couple.
Yeah, we can blast through a couple. So this is a month-by-month trivia about interesting things that happen throughout the summer.
Yeah, all right. Let's start it off.
I think we're starting in June here.
June. We're going to start off with question 2 because question 1 we talked about earlier.
All right.
Question 2. Why was Happy the elephant pictured above in the news in June? Answer 1, option 1. He applied for unemployment benefits after the Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey Circus announced it would no longer feature animal acts.
Well, it's classic joke answer. So this feels like a light article.
Was that a joke?
Seems like a joke. An elephant is applying for benefits.
Oh, that's true. You don't think they probably don't get
next
benefits.
Possible answer?
Starring in the new Dumbo film.
Next.
He was ruled not to be a legal person after New York's highest court rejected an animal advocacy organization's argument that he was being illegally detained by a zoo.
Now, how many possible answers are there? 3 or 4?
3.
I'm going to say the third one.
It sounds like it's the third one, right?
Yeah.
Let's click on that. That's right.
So it is correct.
There's a long description.
Well, we don't need to read that. We got it correct. So we have 100 points.
100 points. Let's see. What about 3? The blank took its most aggressive step yet to try to tame rapid and persistent inflation, raising interest rates by 0.75 of a percentage point on June 15th and signaling that it's prepared to inflict economic pain to get prices under control. Federal Reserve, the Senate, or the U.S. Chamber of Commerce? Now, I know this answer, James.
I mean, I don't, but I think it would probably be the Federal Reserve.
I think it's the Federal Reserve also. And they're inflicting more pain right now and going to be increasing the rate by...
Well, I'll tell you what, this question wins the award for most boring moment of the night.
Oh, it's interesting if you're into the markets.
Nope. Were we correct?
We were correct, yes.
Great, let's go to another question.
All right, let's see. Which U.S. national park, known for its wilderness and active geysers, closed for several days in June after record rainfall washed away roads and bridges? Acadia National Park, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, or Yellowstone National Park?
I mean, I've never heard of the first two, so I'd probably go with Yellowstone, but I also don't know what a geyser is.
A geyser is like if the Earth had a pimple of water and exploded into the air.
Okay, I mean, I'll pick Yellowstone just because I don't know any of the others.
I think you're right. I think it's Yellowstone, and we are both correct.
Okay.
Let's see if there's any more interesting ones of these. Okay,
why don't we go to July?
Wait, let's just do this dog one.
Okay. We'll end it with a bit of levity.
pictured above, won Best in Show at this year's Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show.
Isn't it the Westminster and not the Westminster?
I don't know. Let me try reading that word again.
It could be a different dog show.
I think this is a different dog show, James.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, this is the one that's just west of NDG.
All right.
The Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show, becoming the first of his breed to claim the top prize. What breed is he? So I don't know if you can see on the...
Okay, can I get the list of dog breeds?
We've got Bloodhound, English Setter, and Pekingese.
I think that might be a bloodhound.
Looks like a bloodhound, right?
Yeah.
We're right.
All right, so I guess you could say that we're part of the bloodhound gang.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you like that, Dave?
Yeah, I did like that.
All right, let's save a couple more of these questions for post next segment. How about that?
Yeah, let's save it, because we don't need no water. Let this motherfucker burn.
All right, let's welcome our next guest. Apparently, it's another Legends Night. Please welcome Saima Ahmed to the program. Saima, happy close to end of summer 2022. Welcome to the show. How's it feel to be back?
It feels great to be back. I feel like I haven't been on in like a long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Now, earlier on, Joe, as well as Dave and myself were talking about hot tubs. In our production chat, you wrote, and I quote, "Love a hot tub."
Yeah, why not?
Well, how do you respond to Joe's, I guess, accusations that it's a breeding ground for perversion?
It can be but it could also just be like you're cold, like in the winter time when it's cold and you just go in a hot tub and
so you're taking a soak alone.
You could like have a drink, have a beverage,
now,
have a
in the winter,
after a long day at work.
That's true. In the winter, have you ever gone in a hot tub and then rolled around in the snow afterwards?
I have not, but I've seen people do that. And I once went to a spa in Old Montreal called Boda Boda.
Oh, yeah.
And I went in December and it was really pretty because it was snowing outside and it was quite cold. And I was outside in a hot tub and it was like perfect.
Now, James, have you ever been to a spa before?
No, I can safely say that I have not. And I don't think anyone would predict that I have.
No, I don't know. I feel like you could.
I'll tell you what. I was thrown out of the waiting area in front of Spa Diva, located in the Cour Mont Royal. I was asked to leave the premises.
What did you do?
I did nothing. My girlfriend at the time was there interviewing for a job, and I was waiting outside. And I believe that they thought that I was shabbily dressed, and they said, "You can go wait in the food court."
Now, was this someone who was actually your girlfriend, James, or are you just claiming that they were your girlfriend?
No, this is someone that was actually a girlfriend.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the closest I've been to a spa.
You should go, James. You're all tense.
Yeah.
I'm all tense.
You're all tense, yeah.
All right. Simon, what do you think? Should I go to a spa?
I think spas are lovely and what's not to enjoy.
It feels a little uncomfortable. It seems like a little bit too serene, and I don't feel like I'd fit in. I feel like I'd probably go in there and feel exactly the same way I do when I'm in H&M, which is unwanted.
I bet that if you went, you would instantly take a liking to it.
Look, if you're placing bets, Joe's going to get in on this action.
No, I think you would enjoy it because, I think I brought this up on the show once before that I invited you to come to this like really cute like tea parlor with me, and I wasn't sure if you would enjoy it, and you ended up really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's true. But I would say on paper, I was already very much into the idea of visiting the Cardinal Tea Room.
Okay. But I feel like a spa is, I don't know if it's similar vibes, but similar-ish maybe.
Okay. How about this? It's something to explore, because I don't want to turn this into the James segment. I want this to be the Saima segment. Summer and its end is on the horizon. Saima, I want to begin with the flip side of what we did with Joe. What was some of the low points of this summer?
I don't really
tell me you had none.
Points. I have one. Actually, one thing comes to mind. I did have a minor injury.
Okay.
I was. It's kind of embarrassing. I was walking on.
It might be interesting.
I was in St. Henry. I was in your area, and I was walking on the street. I was going to meet a friend, and I was talking on the phone with my mom, so I wasn't really paying attention to where I was walking very much.
You really got to pay attention to where you're walking.
So there's this couple in front of me that was walking really slow, and I decided to like pass them.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, I felt my foot like caught in something. And so my left foot got caught in like, I don't know if you noticed, they don't really have these in my neighborhood, but like when there's a tree on the sidewalk, there's like a metal
Yep.
gate that, yeah, so my foot actually got caught in that.
Okay.
Get out, it was like bleeding profusely. And I didn't really know what to do. So I stopped to like the closest store and I asked, it was really random. It was like a dep that sold beer.
Yep.
And the guy just saw the blood coming out of my leg. He was like, whoa. He didn't really have band-aids. So he gave me just some like paper towels and I kind of sat on the sidewalk for a bit. And then I called my friend who I was going to go catch up with, who lives not too far from there. And I went to his place and he had, which kind of surprised me. He actually had a bunch of first aid stuff, which I wasn't expecting him to have. I don't think he's been on the show, but you know this person, Paul Solomon.
Yep, I know Paul Solomon.
I was not anticipating him to have all sorts of first aid stuff, but he had lots of first aid stuff and helped me get all bandaged up. And then I went to go see my family doctor the next day and got a tetanus shot.
Okay, so the one low point was profusely bleeding on the streets of St. Henry.
Yeah.
What were some of the highlights of this summer?
So I tried to think of like what would be some of my highlights. I guess I went on a few trips that were definitely the highlights. So I went to Vancouver. I also went to Maine and I went to Toronto, which is not usually a highlight, but I actually had like a decently fun time.
Okay.
I went camping and I went on this like rafting trip that was also kind of fun. I also went to a bunch of cool bars in Montreal. I went to a wine tour thing with my friends.
Busy summer. Jeez Louise.
I went to a beer fest, went to a cider fest. That was also fun. I feel like there's more.
Well, is there one thing that stood atop the mountain looking down at all of the other highlights that you're like, yeah, if I had to narrow it down to one, what would it be?
Okay, there's two things. If I'm going to do like the best night, would be the night I went dancing with my friends. That was really, really fun. But then if I just overall, the best memory would be that going to Vancouver.
All right. Now, when you went dancing, did it get crazy and wild? Were there summer boys around?
Yeah, but it wasn't that. A funny story, actually. Weird. A funny story.
Wait. Should we save this one for the Triple X show?
No. Okay. So a funny story is that I went with a very good friend of mine and her boyfriend and a few of our friends, and we went dancing. And then her and I, we both are similar height. And I don't know if you see where this is going. We're similar height and we both have dark hair and we kind of dress similarly. And so we were leaving, like we were dancing, then we were leaving, and her boyfriend was behind me. We're walking, and I felt
we all know where this is going.
I felt someone grab my ass, and I was like,
"So this was for the Triple X episode."
Yeah. So I felt someone grab my ass, and
now, can I ask, was it like a playful grab, or was it like a real?
Well, this is how I knew that I knew that he had made a mistake because he said, "All right, baby, let's go."
That was also not a playful grab. That's he wants dinner.
Yeah. And then I stopped. I was walking and I stopped walking and I turned around and I was like, I gave him a dirty look, and then he immediately was like he got really like surprised and became instantly apologetic and was like, oh my god, I thought you were my girlfriend. And then he was like, where's my girlfriend? And then he saw her and he was like,
classic excuse.
Yeah.
He was like, baby, and I thought it was you. I touched her butt. He felt really, really, really bad. It was quite funny to see how.
Yeah, now Dave invented that move.
Yeah, when my wife and I go out with her friends that dress like her and are her size.
When you guys go dancing.
Yeah, when we all go dancing together. I've been known to slap a couple under the guise of anyway.
Now I'm curious to know, Dave, is that an interesting story?
I think it's pretty interesting. I think any potential sexual assault, for lack of a better word, is interesting.
Right.
Maybe
It was really just a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the Parent Trap.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm curious to know, did anything happen this summer that maybe you would consider truly interesting?
Truly interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to think. I'm sure it had. I feel like many interesting things have happened.
Okay.
I recently went to a museum. Well, I went to, oh yeah, well, here's this kind of weird. I don't know if this is interesting, but there's this
Well,
artist.
Dave is going to let us know if it is interesting.
Yeah.
There's this artist that I really like. Her name is Yayoi Kusama,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I've seen her exhibits around the world. And I was very excited when one of the museums here in Montreal like said that they're going to have an exhibit of her art. And I tried to get tickets for it, and she's incredibly popular, and it sold out. And they release tickets every month. So I tried to get tickets for like 2 or 3 months every time they would get released, and I would never get them. And then this month, when they came out, I was actually lucky enough to get them. And then when I was on the online ticketing system, I like got tickets. And the way it works is you put them in your cart. So I got like 3 tickets and I put them in my cart. Then I was like, wait, let me just try to get like more tickets and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went and I put like more tickets in my cart and it worked. And so I ended up going to see this exhibit twice, which for me was very interesting. I don't know if Dave, this counts as interesting.
I would say it's interesting only because you had difficulty securing the tickets and then you got more than you would have imagined.
Exactly.
I think it's extremely interesting, and here's why. My wife was trying to get tickets to this show, and she forgot, and it was sold out for this month. So it makes me laugh that you have multiple extra tickets that you didn't even need.
Now, Dave, will you tell your wife this?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Saima, do you still have tickets left over for the show?
no, because I went twice with 2 different like friends, and both times actually
Nothing I can do?
I had fun time. Both times were really fun. I ended up buying like merch both of the times as well. So great experience.
Now this is the exhibits that have that sort of infinite kind of look to them with all the colorful balls, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. See, I know art, James.
All right. Well, no one questioned that you did or didn't.
Well, sometimes I feel like I'm underappreciated on this show, so.
All right. Well, I want you to know that I do appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Saima, I'm curious to know, how do you feel about summer coming to its close very soon, only a few days away?
I guess I was surprised because for me, I feel like summer's already done for me, like Labor Day, like your birthday actually, because your birthday's around Labor Day.
Yep.
It's like the anchor of like summer being done. So for me, in my mind, it's already finished.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that no one mentioned my birthday barbecue as a summer highlight. But then again, I guess it didn't make the lowlights either, so that's something to be happy about.
I was worried that it didn't qualify for being in summer, to be honest. I didn't realize when summer ended.
Fair enough. I believe it ends on the 22nd.
Of
So it's
September?
summer.
Yes.
3 days left.
Yeah.
Well, got to make the most of it.
Well, now are we excited for the fall? Look, I am. Next
Yeah.
Monday will be the first episode of the fall. Anything on the horizon, Saima?
Well, it's funny when you guys were talking about Halloween, it reminded me that I usually come on your show around Halloween to talk about Halloween parties because I love Halloween parties. And also your friend who lives in Ottawa, whose name I forget.
Yeah, Mark Polisel.
Mark, who gives out
Full-size chocolate bars every year at Halloween.
exactly.
He spends, I think, anywhere from $100 to $200 at the Dollarama on full-size chocolate bars for the kids. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to turn this into a fall-time episode, but of course, spooky season is coming fast and furiously. I feel like Halloween parties might truly be back this year, so you might have to come back in the month of October, Simon, to detail what you think the ideal 2022 Halloween party might look like.
You know, it's funny. Just today, I was thinking about my costume and that I need to start planning for Halloween. So
well, let's save this for the fall time content. Now, Dave, anything you're looking forward to for fall 2022?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to it very much.
All
Can
right.
I ask, Dave and James, are you a fan of pumpkin spice lattes?
I don't like them. No.
Oh, they're okay.
Wow.
Simon, what about you?
I mean, I like them.
I find they taste like kind of sour, burnt, and greasy.
I think it depends where you get one from.
I
Well,
prefer a
the only place you
caramel.
get is Starbucks.
Yeah.
I prefer a caramel, like a burnt caramel latte or whatever it's called.
Well, they do one during the Christmas time season. I think it's like a creme brulee latte. Although
That's it.
Starbucks a couple of years ago did release, I think it's like it's not an apple fritter, but an apple crumble macchiato with oat
Oh,
milk. But I get it with regular milk, and I get it half sweet. I quite like it. That's a fall time drink for me. So if there's anyone out there who wants to enjoy an overpriced, overrated fall drink at Starbucks, and you don't like the PSL, get the apple crumble macchiato. If you want to keep the oat milk, go for it. I like the regular milk.
you should do an episode where you spend like $50 at Starbucks and you get a bunch of drinks and you taste test them.
I would like to do that, especially at the holidays, because they have so many holiday beverages. I wonder if the integrity of the drinks would be ruined. I'd maybe need to do this earlier in the day and then throw to clips where I review them.
You could do that and maybe see if Starbucks would sponsor you.
Now, could you imagine that, Dave? If Starbucks,
The
one of
Starbucks?
the Starbucks began. This episode is brought to you by Starbucks.
I mean, that would rule.
That would absolutely
That,
rule.
that should be on your vision board for your show.
We should have
Right.
a vision board, actually. This is
There we
something
go.
that I've been meaning
Let's
to
do an
talk to you
episode
about.
of Vision Board.
Vision board, yeah.
We
yeah.
could probably have the vision board constantly updated on screen. Look, I don't really care that summer's ending. I'm happy about it. I think the big secret victory of tonight's episode is all of the subsequent episodes that are going to follow based on the inspiration that they provided tonight.
I agree. And look, I think I could make my own good lattes.
Oh,
Yeah,
on my
Dave's
vision
good
board,
lattes.
On my vision board is coming up with my own latte recipes.
Hold on, good lattes.
Good latte recipes.
do you have like some ideas already brewing in your head?
No. But
Just-
they're going to come if I put
So
my
there
mind
we
to
go.
it.
It's something for us to talk about. As Bonnie Raitt said, let's give them something to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reese to Dave.
What about, you know what? We'll save it for later.
Save it for later, as
Yeah.
the English Beat once
Wait.
said.
Dave Bucks, and then the logo is Dave's head.
I like that. Because
Dave
I'm a bit of a
Bucks?
star.
Or what about Super Dave's?
Super Dave Buck? Well, there's the other. I
Yeah, that's
guess.
exactly it.
I know, but it's kind
Look,
of.
this is something for us to idea generate.
All right. What about Kaufman's Coffee?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we
that
go.
works. That actually sounds like it could be a chain.
Or just COFFMAN, comma S, Kaufman's.
Yeah, that's all right. That used to
There
be
we
my
go.
nickname.
We did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saima, look, we're going to round things out. I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. We'll get you back in probably less than a month as we do an entire month of spooky season programming.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to it too. Thanks, Saima. Have a good night, okay?
Thanks.
That's Saima, Ahmed, Dave. Frankly, this episode should really be the end of summer.
I think so. I think that we can mark our calendars today.
Yeah,
And,
I'm done with summer. This is officially it. Once
Look,
you start talking about the Starbucks drinks, and I know Joe was on the show, and America runs on Dunkin', they've got a variety of fall-time drinks as well.
Yeah, they might. I don't know, to be honest.
Well, they do.
Okay.
They do.
I believe you.
Now, Dave, do we want to go through any more of these quiz questions? We had a couple.
Let's do a
in
couple.
June.
Let's do a couple.
Yeah. Let's blast through a couple from each month. Let's go to July.
Okay, July. I'm at 1 second. Let's go. Let's pull this up. I'm at July. The first one from July is sort of has a visual element.
Mm-hmm.
Why were young people around the globe, such as the ones pictured above, dressing in suits in July? Was it A job recruitment video produced by banking industry went viral on social media after being promoted by A$AP Rocky? B, shopping malls around the world hosted 80s throwback parties for teenagers as a way to boost revenue? Or C, a TikTok trend known as #GentleMinions encouraged moviegoers to dress up in suits to attend screenings of Minions: The Rise of Gru?
It feels like 3 is the probable answer.
In
I
my-
can see the possibility of 2, but I think it's 3.
I agree with you. It must be 3. Let's click it. We got it.
All right,
far,
so we're perfect right now.
All right, this one seems boring. On July 8th, less than 3 months after striking a blockbuster $44 billion deal to buy Twitter, Blank announced that he was terminating the deal. Well, this one's obvious.
Yeah. Bill Cosby.
Yeah, it's Bill Cosby, yeah. All right. Well, let's click it. See that we got it right. Extreme weather, not that you'd believe it, James, continued across the globe this summer. Which of the all-time headlines below are from this July and August? Choose all that apply.
Okay.
70 million Americans are under heat warnings or advisories. That's 1. 2. Dangerous heat wave strikes China. That's 2. Europe's heat wave shatters British records and drives wildfires.
Well, they did have a huge heat wave, but I don't know if there were wildfires.
4. Extreme weather is likely a temporary problem, climate scientists say. Now that seems a little bit suspect. I don't know. You might believe it. Wildfires ripped through France again weeks after last heat wave.
I'll say 1 and 2 are correct.
You know what? This is the New York Times. I'm going to say that all of them, except for 4, is correct.
Click it. All but 4. Click it.
All but 4? Done. Oh, I was right.
There we go. Now, Dave, you've always been a bit of a quiz master on this show.
I have indeed. But, I owe it all to you, James.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've had most of my quizzing opportunities have come from this show.
Well, there we go. So, again, we appreciate each other. What if we go to August
Let's
now?
go to next month, August. The United States announced on August 1st that they had killed Ayman al-Zawahiri in a drone strike in blank, ending a 21-year manhunt for the terrorist leader.
Mm-hmm.
He was instrumental in the attacks of September 11th, 2001, and took command of blank, the Boy Scouts, after Osama bin Laden's death. So, I mean, it's got to be Al-Qaeda and Afghanistan. Because Osama bin Laden, famously a member of Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
That's what he was known for.
Of course, yeah.
That's why he got on
people
to
have
host...
to be famous for something, right?
Yeah, that's why he got to host SNL.
Yeah, tonight. And your host, Osama bin Laden. Matt, what would his monologue be?
Musical guest, Blues Traveler.
Yeah, even Blues Traveler by anything post 2001 seems unlikely.
Yeah, all right. Yale scientists announced on August 3rd that they have revived cells in animals that have been dead for an hour. Which type of animal were they? Now this I don't know.
Oh, neither do I.
You got a dog, you got a monkey, or you got pigs. Now I don't think that they do tests on dogs. I feel like that's like a faux pas for Yale.
I think I'm gonna go pig.
I think pig is a good bet. I feel like monkey's too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Pig's that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And we're right. Dude, we fucking rule at quizzes.
Yeah. We're the kings of summer.
Yeah, we're the kings of summer.
Yeah.
Should we do maybe one more?
Sure.
All right. All right. Texas jury ordered the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones...
Hold on. Did you say theorist?
Theorist. Did I not say that?
You pronounce it very phonetically.
What did I say?
First you said theorist, then you went theorist.
Okay, well, let me try it again.
Theorist.
A Texas jury ordered the conspiracy theorist...
No, you're still pronouncing it phonetically.
Alex Jones...
Yeah.
on August 5th to pay the parents of a child killed in the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting, RIP, blank in punitive damages for spreading the lie that they helped stage the massacre. Is it A, $452,000, B, $4.52 million, or C, $45.2 million?
I mean, I want it to be the third one.
Sure.
But I almost feel like it might be one.
No, I think it's more than one. I feel like one wouldn't have made even the news.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be 3, though.
Well, let's see.
What should I click?
You decide. You're the quiz
I'm
master.
gonna do 3. and this might be the one where we lose.
Yeah.
3's right.
So he's got to pay 45 million.
Yeah, 45 million.
Well, I hope it was worth it, Mr. Jones.
Dr. Jones, calling.
I thought you were going to
Jones.
come in with Mr. Jones
That's
and
pretty
me
good.
owes me 45 million bucks for spreading lies on the internet.
Yeah.
This
I
feels
want
like
to
a good
say
place.
conspiracies. All right.
Dave, we've done it. This officially marks the end of summer on At Home.
Yeah. Hey man, I thought we did a pretty good job this summer.
So did I. You know, everyone else takes summer programming off.
Yeah,
they
sure.
do the reruns.
Yeah, any you couldn't watch a new episode of Friends in the summer.
Well, you can't watch a new episode of Friends for the past, I don't know, 15 to 18 years.
Yeah, but even so.
You can't watch a new episode of anything other than At Home with James and Dave live on Mondays, 9 p.m. Twitch.
That's right.
Well, Dave, I guess I'll see you next Monday when it's fall.
Sure, and I'll be changing out my background for then.
All right, yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking something something cozy.
Well, maybe I'll wear kind of like a cardigan and I'll have like a mug of a steaming beverage.
It'd be great if we had some steaming beverages on this show.
All right, there we go. A night of steaming beverages and falling leaves. We'll do that next Monday.
Sounds good.
All right, Dave, thanks so much for being here. A big thanks to Joe Conto, Saima, Ahmed. Thanks for watching. Again, we'll be back this time next week. Tell your mom, dad, auntie, unkie, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy. Tell your best friend, tell your neighbor. Maybe, just maybe, you tell your worst enemy, because I believe that not only is love the answer, but that this show can bring people together. Until then, I'm James, you are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, be well.